Captain Maya Trent glanced around the bridge of the Starfire, her seasoned gaze taking in the familiar hum of activity. The ship's crew moved with practiced efficiency, running diagnostics and ensuring everything was in order for their mission. This was supposed to be a routine mission: scout an uncharted sector, report back to the United Earth Fleet, and head home. Little did she know that this would be the mission that changed everything. "Captain, we've detected an unusual energy signature," reported Lieutenant Cade Harlow, his eyes fixed on the console. "Source?" Maya asked, her brow furrowing in curiosity. "Unknown, but it's massive," Harlow replied, his voice tinged with unease. "It doesn't match any known ships or natural phenomena." Maya stood up from her captain's chair, the leather creaking softly. "Helm, set a course for the source of the signature. Let's see what we're dealing with." The ship's engines roared to life, and the Starfire changed course, cutting through the vast emptiness of space. The crew's usual banter was replaced with a tense silence as they approached the source of the mysterious signal. "Captain, we're nearing the coordinates," Harlow announced. "On screen," Maya ordered. The view screen flickered, revealing a dark, hulking shape in the distance. It was an alien ship, unlike anything they had ever seen. Its surface was covered in strange, pulsating lights, and it emitted an eerie glow that sent a shiver down Maya's spine. "Magnify," Maya said, leaning forward. The image zoomed in, showing the intricate details of the alien vessel. It was massive, dwarfing the Starfire in both size and presence. "Analysis, Harlow?" Maya asked, her voice steady despite the rising tension. "It's remarkable," Harlow replied, his fingers dancing over the controls. "The energy readings are off the charts. It's powered by something we've never encountered before." "Open a hailing frequency," Maya ordered. "Let's see if we can establish contact." There was a brief pause as Harlow adjusted the communications array. "Hailing frequency open, Captain. This is Captain Maya Trent of the United Earth Fleet vessel Starfire. We come in peace and seek to establish communication. Please respond." The bridge was silent, save for the hum of the ship's systems. Seconds ticked by, then minutes. Just as Maya was about to repeat the message, the alien ship responded. The screen flickered again, and an alien figure appeared. It was tall and insectoid, with multifaceted eyes that gleamed with an unsettling intelligence. Its mandibles clicked together as it spoke in a language that was a garbled mix of clicks and hisses. "Translation, Harlow?" Maya asked, her eyes never leaving the screen. "We're working on it, Captain," Harlow replied, fingers flying over his console. Before they could make sense of the message, the alien ship began to move. Panels opened up along its hull, revealing an array of weaponry that glowed with an ominous light. "Captain, they're powering up weapons!" Harlow shouted. "Evasive maneuvers! Shields up!" Maya commanded. The Starfire jolted as it veered sharply to the right, narrowly avoiding a blast of energy from the alien ship. The bridge erupted into chaos as the crew scrambled to respond to the sudden attack. "Return fire!" Maya ordered. The Starfire's weapons blazed to life, but their shots barely made a dent in the alien ship's shields. The alien vessel returned fire with devastating precision, each hit rocking the Starfire and straining its shields to their limits. "Shields at 50%, Harlow called out. "Keep firing! Don't let up!" Maya shouted, gripping the armrests of her chair. Despite their best efforts, the alien ship's advanced technology proved overwhelming. With a final, powerful blast, the Starfire's shields failed, and the ship was disabled, drifting helplessly in space. "We've lost propulsion, Captain," Harlow reported, panic in his voice. "Prepare for boarding," Maya ordered. "Arm yourselves and get ready to repel invaders." But it was too late. The alien ship had already deployed boarding pods, and the Starfire was quickly overrun by alien soldiers. Maya and her crew fought valiantly, but they were outmatched and outnumbered. "Captain, we can't hold them off!" Harlow yelled, struggling against an alien warrior. Maya's heart pounded as she was surrounded by the alien invaders. She knew they were facing a powerful and merciless enemy. Her last thought before being knocked unconscious was of her duty to protect her crew and find a way to escape this nightmare. Captain Maya Trent awoke to the harsh reality of her situation. She was lying on a cold metallic floor, her wrists and ankles bound by heavy restraints. The room was dimly lit, and the air was thick with an unfamiliar acrid scent. She could hear the distant sounds of machinery and the occasional shout of her crew members. Groaning, she pushed herself up to a sitting position and surveyed her surroundings. The room was bare and sterile, with smooth, featureless walls. There was no sign of her captors, but she knew they were watching. "Stay calm, Trent," she muttered to herself. "Think." A door slid open with a hiss, and a tall insectoid alien entered, flanked by 2 guards. Its multifaceted eyes gleamed with a cold, calculated intelligence, and its mandibles clicked together in a menacing rhythm. "Captain Trent," the alien hissed, its voice a guttural rasp. "Welcome to our domain. I am Zathrak, your interrogator." Maya met its gaze with steely determination. "What do you want with us?" Zathrak's mandibles clicked in what might have been amusement. "You will soon find out. For now, you will answer our questions." Maya clenched her fists. "I won't tell you anything." "We shall see," Zathrak replied, gesturing to the guards. The guards stepped forward, roughly dragging Maya to her feet. She struggled against their grip, but their strength was overwhelming. They led her down a series of winding corridors, the walls adorned with strange, pulsating lights. The alien ship was a maze, and Maya quickly lost her sense of direction. They entered a large chamber filled with various devices that looked like instruments of torture. Zathrak followed, his eyes never leaving Maya. "You will tell us what we want to know, Captain," Zathrak said, his voice dripping with malice. "One way or another." The guards forced Maya onto a metallic table and secured her restraints. She strained against the bonds, but they were unyielding. Zathrak approached, holding a device that hummed ominously. "This will be the first of many sessions," Zathrak said, activating the device. "Let us begin." Pain shot through Maya's body as the device made contact with her skin. She bit down hard, refusing to give Zathrak the satisfaction of hearing her scream. The torture was relentless, each wave of pain designed to break her spirit and force her to talk. Despite the agony, Maya's thoughts remained focused on her crew. She had to stay strong for them, had to find a way to escape this nightmare. As the session dragged on, she clung to that thought like a lifeline. Hours later, Zathrak finally deactivated the device and stepped back. Maya lay on the table, her body trembling with exhaustion and pain. "You are resilient, Captain," Zathrak remarked, "but everyone has a breaking point. We will find yours." The guards unshackled her and dragged her back to her cell. Maya collapsed onto the floor, her body racked with pain. She knew the worst was yet to come, but she was determined to resist, no matter the cost. As she lay there, a faint glimmer of hope flickered in her mind. She knew her crew was out there somewhere, and she trusted them to find a way to rescue her. For now, she would endure, for them and for the mission. Maya awoke in her cell, every muscle in her body screaming in agony. The torture sessions had left her weakened, but her resolve remained unbroken. She took in her surroundings, noting the smooth, metallic walls and the faint hum of the ship's systems. There were no windows, no sense of time, only the cold, unrelenting confinement. The door to her cell slid open, and a tray of unidentifiable food was shoved inside. Maya glanced at it, her stomach turning at the sight. She forced herself to eat, knowing she needed her strength. As she chewed the tasteless paste, her thoughts drifted to her crew. Were they enduring the same torment? Had any of them managed to evade capture? Days blended into weeks, each one marked by Zathrak's brutal interrogations. He was relentless, using every method at his disposal to break her will. Yet, Maya remained steadfast. She knew the importance of the information she held and the consequences of giving in. One day, as Zathrak prepared for another session, he studied her with a peculiar intensity. "Your resistance is admirable, Captain," he said, "but it is futile. Your people cannot withstand our might." Maya met his gaze, defiance burning in her eyes. "You underestimate humanity, Zathrak. We won't be broken." Zathrak's mandibles clicked in irritation. "We shall see," he said, activating the device. The pain was excruciating, but Maya focused on thoughts of Earth, her crew, and the hope that they were out there, fighting to save her. She would not let Zathrak win. She would endure, no matter the cost. The days of torture blurred together, each session more harrowing than the last. Zathrak employed a variety of devices, each designed to push her to her limits and beyond. The physical pain was immense, but it was the psychological torment that tested her resolve. Zathrak took pleasure in recounting the supposed demise of her crew, describing in vivid detail how they had been captured or killed. Maya knew he was trying to break her spirit, but she refused to believe his lies. Her crew was strong and resourceful. They would find a way to survive, just as she had to find a way to endure. During one particularly brutal session, Zathrak introduced a new device, a small pulsating orb that he held before her eyes. "This is a neural probe," he explained with a twisted smile. "It delves into your mind, seeking out your deepest fears and amplifying them. You cannot hide from it." Maya's heart pounded as the probe drew closer. She steeled herself, preparing for the onslaught. As the probe made contact, her mind was flooded with images of her worst nightmares, her crew dead or suffering, Earth burning under alien attack, her family in despair. The fear was overwhelming, but Maya clung to her training and her determination. She would not give in to the terror. "You are strong, Captain," Zathrak admitted, his voice a grudging tone of respect. "But this strength will not save you. It will only prolong your suffering." Maya gasped for breath as the probe was withdrawn. She was drenched in sweat, her body trembling, but her spirit remained unbroken. She met Zathrak's gaze with a look of fierce defiance. "You'll never get what you want from me," she said, her voice hoarse but resolute. Zathrak's eyes narrowed. "We shall see, Captain. We shall see." After the session, Maya was returned to her cell, her body racked with pain and exhaustion. She lay on the cold floor, her mind racing. She had to find a way to resist, to hold out until her crew could rescue her. She thought of Lieutenant Harlow and the others, imagining them out there, planning and fighting to save her. Her resolve hardened. She would endure whatever Zathrak threw at her. She would not break. For her crew, for Earth, and for humanity. She would fight until her last breath. Unbeknownst to Maya, a group of her crew had managed to evade capture and were hiding deep within the labyrinthine corridors of the alien ship. Led by Lieutenant Cade Harlow, they had been working tirelessly to gather intelligence and devise a plan to rescue their captain and fellow crew members. Harlow crouched behind a bulkhead, peering around the corner to ensure the path was clear. He gestured to the others, and they silently moved forward, their weapons at the ready. The small group consisted of seasoned veterans and promising recruits, all united by a single purpose, to save their comrades and escape this alien nightmare. Harlow took command. He whispered into his communicator. "We found a way to disrupt the ship's power grid. It might give us the opening we need to free the captain and the others." "Proceed with caution," came the reply from Ensign Riley, the acting officer back on Earth. "We can't afford any mistakes. Timing is critical." Harlow nodded, though Riley couldn't see him. "Understood. We'll make our move soon. Harlow out." The resistance team moved through the ship with practiced stealth, avoiding patrols and surveillance systems. They had studied the alien ship's layout and learned its weaknesses, allowing them to navigate the corridors undetected. At the heart of the ship, they found the power grid, an intricate web of pulsating conduits and energy nodes. Harlow and technician Jenna Klein set to work, planting explosive charges at key points while the rest of the team stood guard. "We have to time this perfectly," Harlow said, his voice tense. "Once these charges go off, we'll have a limited window to reach the cells and free our people." Klein nodded, her hands steady despite the pressure. "We're ready. Just say the word." Harlow took a deep breath, checking his chronometer. "On my mark! 3, 2, 1, mark!" The charges detonated in a synchronized series of explosions, sending shockwaves through the ship. Lights flickered and alarms blared as the power grid was severely damaged, plunging parts of the ship into darkness. "Go, go, go!" Harlow shouted, leading the team through the chaos. They sprinted down the corridors, their path now fraught with confusion and disarray as alien soldiers scrambled to respond to the sudden disruption. The resistance team fought their way to the detention area, using the element of surprise to their advantage. Harlow and his team reached the detention cells, where they found Maya and the other crew members. The sight of their battered but resilient captain filled them with renewed determination. "Captain Trent!" Harlow called out, rushing to her cell and quickly disabling the lock. "We're getting you out of here." Maya, though weakened by her ordeal, managed a smile. "Took you long enough, Harlow. Let's move." The crew members who had been freed from their cells gathered their strength and armed themselves with weapons taken from fallen alien guards. The group, now larger and more formidable, made their way through the ship, fighting off any resistance they encountered. "We need to get to the docking bay," Maya said, her voice firm despite her injuries. "We'll commandeer one of their shuttles." The team moved with precision, cutting through the ship's defenses and using the confusion to their advantage. Explosions continued to rock the vessel as the alien crew struggled to regain control. They reached the docking bay, where several alien shuttles were docked. Harlow and Klein quickly hacked into the docking controls, opening the bay doors and preparing one of the shuttles for departure. "Everyone on board!" Harlow shouted, covering their escape as the others piled into the shuttle. Maya took the co-pilot's seat, assisting Klein with the pre-flight checks. "Engines online, we're ready to go!" "Punch it!" Maya ordered. The shuttle's engines roared to life, and it shot out of the docking bay, dodging alien fire as it sped away from the ship. Harlow and the others took defensive positions, returning fire to keep their pursuers at bay. "We've got incoming fighters!" Klein warned, her hands flying over the controls. "Hold on!" The shuttle weaved and dodged through space, narrowly avoiding enemy fire. The crew worked together seamlessly, each person playing their part in the desperate escape. "Prepare for hyperspace jump," Maya commanded. "We need to get out of their range." Klein input the coordinates, and with a final burst of speed, the shuttle leapt into hyperspace, leaving the alien ship behind. The crew breathed a collective sigh of relief as they sped towards safety. "We did it," Harlow said, his voice filled with exhaustion and triumph. Maya nodded, her eyes fierce with determination. "This isn't over. We need to get back to Earth and warn the fleet, and then we'll make sure they pay for what they've done." The shuttle continued its journey through hyperspace, the battered but unbroken crew united by their shared ordeal and their resolve to fight back. The stolen alien shuttle hurtled through hyperspace, carrying Maya, Harlow, and the rest of their crew away from the clutches of their captors. The interior of the shuttle was cramped and dimly lit, but the atmosphere was charged with a mixture of relief and determination. Maya, still recovering from her ordeal, sat in the co-pilot's seat, her eyes fixed on the navigation display. "Klein, how much longer until we reach the rendezvous point?" Klein glanced over her shoulder from the pilot's seat. "About 6 hours, Captain. We should be able to make it without any further complications." "Good," Maya said, her voice steely. "Everyone, take a moment to rest and patch yourselves up. We need to be ready for anything once we get back to Earth." As the crew settled into a brief respite, Harlow approached Maya. "Captain, are you all right? You went through a lot back there." Maya met his concerned gaze. "I'll be fine, Harlow. We all went through hell, but we made it out. That's what matters. Now we need to focus on the mission. We have to warn Earth about the threat these aliens pose." Harlow nodded. "Understood. We've gathered a lot of intelligence. It's crucial we get it to command." The hours passed slowly, with the crew taking turns resting and keeping watch. The shuttle remained on course, and finally they approached the edge of the Sol system. Maya felt a surge of hope as familiar stars came into view. "Entering Sol system," Klein announced. "We're transmitting our identification codes now." Maya took a deep breath. "Let's hope they recognize us and don't shoot us down." As they neared Earth, a message crackled over the comm system. "Unidentified shuttle, this is Earth Defense Command. Identify yourselves immediately." "This is Captain Maya Trent of the United Earth Fleet vessel Starfire," Maya replied. "We've escaped from an alien ship and have critical intelligence, requesting immediate clearance to dock and debrief." There was a tense pause before the voice responded. "Captain Trent, you are cleared to dock at Earth Defense Command. Welcome home." Maya allowed herself a brief smile. "Take us in, Klein." The shuttle descended towards Earth, and the crew's spirits lifted as the familiar blue planet grew larger on the view screen. They docked at the orbital station, where a team of medical and security personnel awaited them. As they disembarked, Maya was greeted by Admiral Howard, a stern-faced man with a reputation for no-nonsense leadership. "Captain Trent, it's good to see you and your crew back in one piece. We've been monitoring the situation and are eager to hear your report." Maya nodded. "Admiral, we have vital information about the aliens. We need to debrief immediately." Howard gestured for them to follow. "This way. We've prepared a secure room for your debriefing." The crew followed the Admiral through the station's corridors, their minds focused on the task ahead. They knew their escape was just the beginning of a larger battle. The secure debriefing room was a stark utilitarian space, outfitted with advanced communication and recording equipment. Maya and her crew took their seats around the table, while Admiral Howard and several other high-ranking officers listened intently. Maya began the debriefing, recounting their mission, the ambush, their capture, and the harrowing escape. Harlow and Klein supplemented her account with technical details and intelligence they had gathered during their imprisonment. "These aliens are unlike anything we've encountered before," Maya concluded. "Their technology is far superior, and their intentions are clearly hostile. We need to be prepared for a full-scale invasion." Admiral Howard leaned forward, his expression grave. "This is troubling news, Captain. But thanks to your efforts, we now have crucial information. We'll begin preparations immediately." The next few days were a whirlwind of activity. Earth's defense forces mobilized, and the fleet was put on high alert. Maya and her crew worked tirelessly, assisting with strategy meetings and sharing their first-hand knowledge of the alien ship's capabilities and weaknesses. "We need to hit them where it hurts," Maya said during one strategy session. "Their power grid is a critical vulnerability. If we can disable it, we'll have a fighting chance." Harlow nodded. "Agreed. We also need to develop countermeasures against their weapons. Our shields were almost useless against them." As preparations continued, the fleet was reinforced with new ships and cutting-edge technology. Engineers worked around the clock to upgrade the fleet's defenses and weaponry, while scientists analyzed the alien tech for any exploitable weaknesses. Finally, the day of reckoning arrived. The fleet assembled in orbit, a formidable array of ships poised to defend Earth. Maya stood on the bridge of the newly repaired Starfire, her crew around her. "Today we fight not just for ourselves, but for all of humanity," she declared, her voice resolute. "We will show them that Earth is not to be trifled with." The fleet moved out, hyperspace engines propelling them towards the alien threat. As they approached the coordinates where the alien ship had last been seen, tension filled the air. "Enemy ship detected," Klein reported. "It's the same one that captured us." Maya's eyes narrowed. "All ships prepare for engagement. Target their power grid and be ready to counter their weapons." The battle that ensued was fierce and unforgiving. Energy beams and missiles streaked through the void, lighting up the darkness with deadly precision. The Starfire and its sister ships maneuvered with expert skill, avoiding the worst of the alien fire while returning devastating volleys. Maya's command and the crew's resilience began to turn the tide. The alien ship's power grid flickered and then failed under the relentless assault, causing their defenses to falter. "Now's our chance!" Maya shouted. "All ships, concentrate fire on their weapons systems!" With coordinated precision, the fleet unleashed a barrage that overwhelmed the alien ship's remaining defenses. Explosions rippled across its hull, and the once imposing vessel was reduced to a burning wreck. "Enemy ship neutralized," Harlow reported, relief evident in his voice. Cheers erupted across the fleet's communication channels, but Maya remained focused. "Good work, everyone, but stay alert. There may be more out there." The fleet regrouped, scanning the surrounding space for any additional threats. Satisfied that they were safe for the moment, Maya allowed herself a deep breath. "Captain Trent, you and your crew have done Earth a great service today." Admiral Howard's voice crackled over the comms. "We owe you a debt of gratitude." Maya nodded, a sense of pride swelling within her. "Thank you, Admiral. We couldn't have done it without everyone's support." As the fleet set a course for home, the crew of the Starfire took a moment to reflect on their journey. They had faced unimaginable horrors and emerged victorious, their bond stronger than ever. Maya looked out at the stars, her resolve unwavering. We've won this battle, but the war may be far from over. We must remain vigilant and prepared for whatever comes next. The Starfire and its fleet headed back to Earth, ready to defend their home and their future against any threat that dared to challenge them. Back on Earth, the United Earth Fleet prepared for a full-scale confrontation with the alien invaders. Intelligence gathered by Maya and her crew indicated that the aliens were amassing a larger force, planning a decisive strike against Earth. The stakes had never been higher. Maya stood on the bridge of the Starfire, now fully repaired and outfitted with upgraded weaponry and defenses. The bridge buzzed with activity as final preparations were made. "All ships report ready," Harlow said, his voice steady but tinged with anticipation. "We're just waiting for your command, Captain." Maya nodded. "Open a channel to the fleet." The communications officer activated the fleet-wide channel, and Maya's image appeared on the screens of every ship. "Attention, all units," Maya began. "Today we stand together against an enemy that seeks to destroy everything we hold dear. We fight not just for ourselves, but for our families, our homes, and our future. Remember what we've been through. Remember why we're here. We will show them that humanity is strong, united, and unbreakable." A chorus of affirmatives echoed through the comms. The fleet was ready. "Helm, set a course for the enemy fleet," Maya ordered. "All ships, engage hyperspace on my mark." The stars stretched into lines as the fleet jumped into hyperspace, hurtling towards the impending battle. As they emerged, the view screen filled with the sight of the alien armada. Dozens of ships, each one bristling with weapons and shields. "Enemy ships in range," Klein reported. "They're moving to intercept." "Prepare all weapons," Maya commanded. "Launch fighters and maintain defensive formations." The space between the two fleets erupted into chaos as the first volleys were exchanged. The Starfire and its sister ships fired a coordinated barrage, targeting the alien ships' weak points. Fighters swarmed, engaging in dogfights that lit up the void with streaks of laser fire. "Focus on their command ship," Maya directed. "If we take it out, we can disrupt their coordination." The fleet concentrated their fire on the largest alien vessel, a behemoth at the center of the enemy formation. The alien ship retaliated with devastating energy beams, but the upgraded shields of the Starfire held firm. "Shields at 60%, Harlow reported. "We're taking heavy fire." "Hold steady," Maya said, her voice calm and determined. "We're breaking through." A massive explosion erupted from the alien command ship as one of its power cores was hit. The alien formation faltered, their attacks becoming less coordinated. "Now's our chance," Maya shouted. "All ships push forward, target their engines and weapon systems." The fleet surged ahead, exploiting the opening. One by one, the alien ships fell under the relentless assault. The Starfire led the charge, its weapons blazing. "Enemy fleet is breaking off," Klein reported. "They're retreating." "Let them run," Maya said. "Focus on securing the area and tending to our wounded." As the alien ships fled, the fleet regrouped. The battle had been won, but the cost had been high. The view screen showed the wreckage of ships, both human and alien, scattered across the battlefield. "Captain, we did it," Harlow said, his voice a mix of exhaustion and triumph. Maya nodded, her eyes scanning the damage. "Yes, we did. But we must remain vigilant. This victory came at a great cost, and we can't afford to be complacent." With the alien threat neutralized, the fleet returned to Earth, greeted as heroes. Celebrations erupted across the planet as news of the victory spread. But for Maya and her crew, the work was far from over. The debriefing room buzzed with activity as high-ranking officials gathered to hear Maya's report. Admiral Howard stood at the head of the table, listening intently as Maya recounted the battle and the tactics that had led to their success. "Your leadership was instrumental in this victory, Captain Trent," Howard said. "Thanks to you and your crew, we've bought ourselves some much-needed time to prepare for any future threats." Maya nodded. "It was a team effort, Admiral. Every member of the fleet played a crucial role, but we must remain vigilant. The aliens will likely regroup and return with even greater force." Howard's expression grew serious. "Agreed. We'll use this time to bolster our defenses and develop new technologies." We've also learned a great deal from the alien technology we recovered. It will be invaluable in strengthening our fleet. As the meeting adjourned, Maya and her crew were given a brief period of leave to recover and spend time with their families. The weight of their experiences hung heavy, but there was also a sense of pride and accomplishment. During a quiet moment at a memorial for those lost in the battle, Maya reflected on the journey that had brought them here. The faces of her fallen comrades filled her mind, a reminder of the sacrifices made and the duty that lay ahead. Harlow approached, standing beside her. "Thinking about them?" Maya nodded. "We owe it to them to keep fighting, to ensure that their sacrifices weren't in vain." Harlow placed a hand on her shoulder. "We will. We're stronger now, more united. Whatever comes next, we'll face it together." Back on the Starfire, the crew resumed their duties with a renewed sense of purpose. Engineers worked tirelessly to repair and upgrade the ship, while strategists analyzed the battle and devised new tactics. Maya stood on the bridge, looking out at the stars. The sense of unease from before had transformed into a steely resolve. She knew that the fight was far from over, but she also knew that humanity had proven its strength and resilience. "Set a course for the outer perimeter," Maya ordered. "We need to be ready for anything." As the Starfire moved into position, Maya felt a sense of calm determination. They had faced the darkness and emerged victorious. And no matter what the future held, they would be ready to defend their home and their way of life. The journey ahead would be long and fraught with challenges, but Maya and her crew were prepared to face it together. They were humanity's shield, and they would never back down. As the stars stretched out before them, Maya knew that they had made their mark. The biggest mistake the aliens had made was underestimating the indomitable spirit of humanity. And now, they would face the consequences,